Alright, welcome to the video on the inverse square law. First thing I'm going to do is write down the equation. And it's going to start off as I new is equal to I original times distance squared original divided by the distance squared of new. What does that mean? What's all this? If I wanted to make that a little bit simpler, I would talk about the light intensity, so I could put that in here. So light intensity can be calculated by looking at the original light intensity, which is normally measured in lux, multiplied by the distance away from the light source that we were originally. So that could be the first place that we were, so let's call it, I don't know, area A. And then if we moved it to area B, that would be the distance nu. Okay, so the distance squared nu. What does this actually mean? So let's just say that I've got a light source here, and this light source is a I don't know, torch or something. I'm not very good at drawing, so you're gonna have to forgive me. What does that look like? I have no idea. Okay, I'm just gonna call it a torch. And I've got my torch and it's shining light out there, and it's shining light at a plant. I'm going to draw this to be my plant. Alright, so I've got my plant and there's a certain amount of light intensity that is hitting this plant. So let's just call this light intensity, we've used A and B, so we're going to call it X. So this amount of light hitting this plant is light intensity X. Well, if I was to move, so I suppose we'll have to call this. I'm gonna have to call this a distance as well. This is distance d. If I was to make this distance d twice as long, so if from the torch to the plant became 2d, then the light intensity hitting this plant wouldn't be half of x. It would actually be 1 over half squared of x. So that's actually a quarter. So the amount of light that would be hitting this leaf away from the torch wouldn't be half, even though it's double distance. It's actually a quarter. So this is what the inverse square law means. It's the further you are away, the much less intense the light is. So I'll do this again. If this is the distance, if this is the amount of light intensity that's hitting the leaf here at D, we can call that x lux. If you double the distance away, you don't actually half the intensity. You half squared the intensity, which gives you a quarter. This is called inverse proportionality. You may have heard of proportionality, which is whereas one increases, the other one decreases. Inverse proportionality means that there's a negative variance with the square. We could also do it this other way as well. So let's say that we came in, instead from D, we came, twice as close to D. So we halved D down. It wouldn't actually be 2 times x. It would be 2x squared. It would be 2 squared x. So it would be 4 times as intense if we moved it half the distance again closer. We can do this as a bit of a question, I suppose. Let's say that I had the light intensity. I want to find out what the light intensity is going to be in my new greenhouse. I have got the intensity of 500 lux. And the torch, or the lamp that's powering my greenhouse, is 10 meters away. I want to see what the new light intensity is going to be if I bring it to actually, I'd say we'll do 5 5 meters closer. So I just do my maths. So I've got 500 times 10 to the 2 divided by 25, and it's 550,000 divided by 25, and I'm sure I could do that in my head. Oh dear, mental maths time here now. Goes in there twice, remainder all that. So it's actually be 2,000. So what does that actually mean? What have I shown here? So the new light intensity is going to be 2,000 lux. And what did I say? If I was D and I went to half D, then the light intensity wouldn't actually be twice as bright. It would be 4 times as bright. The same way if it went twice as far away, it would be a quarter as bright. Well, this is my original lux. So this is the original amount of light that was hitting my plant. It was 10 meters away. and I have that distance, and the overall light now I have hitting it is my is 2000 lux. And what's 500 times 4? 2000. Look at that, biology is right yet again. So if you're asked about the inverse proportionality law, then that's what we're looking at. The applications of this will be looking in lessons, but make sure that you understand what this inverse square law is talking about.